Kia ora, I'm Natasha Power.
And I'm Kim Hines, and this is our Digital and Collaborative Learning Context Assignment number 2. Naku te roro no te roro ka ora ai te iwi. This is our whakatauki that we have chosen to use, referring to cooperation and the combination of the resources to get ahead.
Our concern began with the low achievement and our lack of engagement, particularly in boys' writing. So these came from results from our own school and schools across our district that our writing was below the national standard. So we decided to focus on boys' writing.
So the concern was to increase the number of students achieving at or above the national standard in writing, and we had a group of targeted Year 8 learners who didn't meet the national standard at the end of Year 7 in writing, and we wanted to make sure that we tried to get them to achieve the national standard by Year 8.
So these were our initial concerns. This was at the beginning of the year. These are just our target children, these results, and you can clearly see they are below our national standard, and they had very similar needs or areas to work on, and the major one was structure of writing. Also closely followed the vocabulary and ideas that they were creating. And this was the very beginning of the year, EASTL, which was on explanation writing.
So our plan was to set up a tuakana taina system within our classes to have the high achieving role models in writing set up with our targeted learners. And we decided to use the Google Docs and Google Slides so they could collaborate on one piece of writing together. And the children have been given a Google form to fill out at the very beginning. And this was so that we could get some student voice and decide on what it is that we actually wanted to teach the children.
And what they enjoy.
Yeah.
So first thing we started was of course, the Google form. And we gave all our children in the 2 classes this form, and we found that 72% of our children enjoyed writing, which is great. 61% enjoyed writing with someone, and fictional writing was the most popular choice, and report writing was 3rd most popular. So we actually, even though it was 3rd, we did choose to go with report writing because it has a clear structure to follow, and it also includes working on writing paragraphs and writing topic-specific sentences and vocabulary, and we thought they would all be able to gain success with this style.
We then sat down together and we deliberately chose who our targeted writers would work with because we wanted them to have a high achieving role model as their partner. And the aim was that all children will talk with their partners and gain new ideas and vocab from each other. So we shared with our targeted learners who their tuakana was, and then we let the rest of the children in our 2 classes decide on who it was that they were actually going to work with. And some of them decided to work with friends, and some decided no, they didn't want to work with friends and worked with other children that they weren't so familiar with in the classroom.
So here's our pre-assessment, which was based on report writing. So with child 1, you can see 2B, then 2A, 2A, 2B, 2B, and then things we needed to work on underneath were the areas elaborating ideas, adding in detail, punctuation, paragraphing.
I think the detail was the main concern for most of our children. So then we combined both of our classes together and we shared our expectations of what tuakana taina should look like and our expectations on how they were to work together. We shared the skills that the children need to have to be able to work collaboratively, and on this slide here shows our expectations.
Yep. So we wanted them to take turns at sharing their ideas. We needed them to listen to the other person's ideas and build on them. And when listening to their buddies' ideas, we need them to look at them. We need them to be positive about another person's ideas, not to put anyone down, ask questions, both equally participate with the tasks, communicate with a clear voice, and make sure they actually stay with their buddy and not wander away.
This was a success criteria that we actually gave to the children so that they had a clear understanding of what was expected of them when writing their report. So they actually got this before we even started report writing, so they knew they had to do these particular things.
Then the plan, once the children knew the expectations, we set them the tasks of writing a report, choosing either to write about the eye, the pancreas, or the heart. We chose these 3 parts of the body as it gave the children the opportunity to use topic-specific vocabulary, and they could easily write 3 good paragraphs which included topic sentences. And that plan was up on our Google site for the children to view and work from.
And so after we spent a couple of weeks looking at the scaffolder report and completing a report with their tuakana, we then asked the children to choose one of the other 2 options, either the eyes, the heart, or the pancreas, and individually write a report, because we wanted to compare the first report that they wrote to this report to see if they'd gained any new knowledge by working with their tuakana.
What we noticed before, that the work, there was very little completed, it lacked detail, no structure to their work, there was not a lot of use of technical language, writing was not grammatically correct, as they tended not to actually self-check their work. Afterwards, what we're beginning and seeing afterwards was that writing was structured in paragraphs with topic sentences. They used technical language. The volume of writing was far greater than previous examples. So already we were starting to see improvements in also grammar due to them discussing with someone and talking through their work.
So this is the results so far. Unfortunately, our child number 1 has moved schools, but child 2, 3, 4, and 5 we could compare, and we can see that there has been some improvement. And although they weren't great gains, like Tash has just said, looking at them actually being able to write and the volume of writing has really improved, and their motivation to write as well.
Definitely. So we also gathered some student voice about what they think about working collaboratively with someone else. So these were our positive comments. It was just a selection, not everyone's. We just picked a few out. So a couple of the ones they liked actually being able to get work done faster. So because 2 people working on one thing got it done a lot quicker. They liked that they were actually able to add more detail, and not just their own ideas, but they were able to add detail from talking to their partner. They were able to work better, and the people would help them to expand their ideas. What we did also ask is if they would like to continue with writing collaboratively, and very clearly 72% want to continue working collaboratively with a buddy. 24% wanted a bit more of a mix. They wanted a bit of collaborative and a bit of independent work, and only 4% wanted to work independently for writing.
Some of the challenges that this came from the students, if you have a buddy that talks, it can make it harder. I guess they get off task easier. Yeah. Sometimes they don't always agree on the same topic or what they want to put in that particular piece of writing. Some people think that their ideas are better than others, and we know those kids. Trying to keep up with your buddy, I guess the tuakana, because they are, I guess, more advanced from writing, that they're more confident. They're just like, right, we're going to do this. Whereas the Tainer felt that sometimes they struggled to keep up a little bit. Some of them said it was time consuming because you actually had to talk to somebody before you could write. And some of our control freaks didn't like having the complete control over their piece of writing.
The observations that we've noticed is a far greater engagement in work. Children are much more motivated, and there's a lot higher completion of work. Pieces of writing are completed much faster than before. We're not waiting for work to be finished. And we've actually been able to take a bit more time to take small groups and work independently with them because the children are so motivated and they're on task. Of course, some children still don't work collaboratively together. There are still some groups, and it's not many, but there are some that we do need to remind to be with their buddy and back on task. Our targeted learners are positive and really proud of their work, working with their buddy. The role models that we're chosen, we're really impressed with. They're effective. They are great role models. They're fantastic with their buddies, not overpowering, and they're not doing all of the work for them, which is brilliant.
So the successes that we've seen so far, the children have been far more motivated in their writing, and we're going to stop there, Miss Power, because that is up to about 10 minutes.
I did wonder, I could see us through the first part because I was watching the timer down here.
Oh, yeah.